Ferrucci. I am an EQ Saddle Science Ambassador. I have my own training business, AMVA Dressage, based in Wellington, Florida. I am a new trainer. I just started my own business this year in February of 2020. I am 20 years old. I have competed all the way up to the U25 Grand Prix. I have a medal from NAYC 2019 in Young Riders, all done with a sponsored horse that I had named Sagacious HF, which we both together represented EQ Saddle Science. I really love my EQ saddle because I have had some previous back issues, and it really has given me the ability to ride to my full capacity without ever feeling like I'm in pain, and it really helps me do what I need to get done in a way that is both helpful for me and for my horses. And I love the adjustability and the flexibility in the panels, and I think that it makes everything just go very well and in sync for the horses. My future plans would probably be to continue riding and training, especially young horses, and this is what this video program is going to be about. It's a 6-week series on my journey with my yearling. I have a 1-year-old Westphalian black filly. She is going to be a little on the small side. We should probably measure out at 16.1 by the time she's full grown. She's probably 14.3 right now. She is by Rubinero, and her dam line is out of Soprano, and her grand dam is out of Weltmeyer. And this is going to be week 1. We're going to touch base on basics, handling of a yearling, what should they be able to know at the very, very basic stage of things like grooming and walking and just in general things that you need to be able to do with them to get around the barn. All right, up next you'll see some videos with me talking over, and I'll also add in a short clip of me riding so you can see what I was doing before I had gone into my journey with my yearling. And here's just a short video clip of me riding in NAYC in Pre-St. George in my EQ Saddle Science saddle. I really loved it on this horse. It really made me feel very close contact with her. So here is a little bit of the beginning when I first started halter breaking rein. That would be good to watch a before video before you see her after 4 months of training. And then, especially with her, she was very feral when I got her. She lived out in the field for her entire beginning of her life. So even getting near her to pet her, brush her, and halter her was very difficult. She would often pin her ears and kick or run away or nudge you. It took a long time to get her to be okay with being touched and handled and worked with. So this is something that you'll see has changed a lot over the past few months. So my grooming routine with her is pretty basic. I curry her everywhere: neck, sides, back, belly, legs, and face. When I first started teaching her how to stand in the crossed eyes, of course, she wasn't very happy about it. She had to stand still. She had to have patience to wait there as I took care of her and cleaned her. She wasn't happy about being touched everywhere at first. She was definitely like, you can only touch certain areas, you can only brush her neck. If you tried to brush her butt, she was going to squirm away. So just after months of just patience and just letting her get adjusted and relaxing on her own and just being there for her to give her support to know that, hey, it's okay. We're just, going to brush you a little bit. You're going to get clean. You just have to stand here for like 10 minutes and once a day, and that's really all you have to do. Then after a while, she started to settle in and she started respecting the cross ties more after breaking out of them like 20 times. But luckily, she finally learned, hey, look, I actually like this. I like the curry comb that I get. She gets a hands-on grooming comb. She really likes that. She thinks it's like a little massage. And then I normally just use like a regular fly spray horse moisturizer mix on her. And of course, at first, she didn't really like spray bottles, and that took a lot of time to help her get used to being sprayed and be good with it. And all of it basically just took a lot of time, a lot of patience. I normally would use 2 people when I first started. One would be grooming her, and I would hold her because she would get antsy, she'd run sideways, and you'd have to always be 100% paying attention to her behavior, her ears, her facial expressions to make sure that she is A-okay and standing there and will be quiet. This is just something that takes a lot of time and patience. It's nothing that's really rushed. It just depends on your horse. With her, she was not too happy about it at first, but over time she learned that she actually enjoys being groomed, and she likes to stand there and get toweled, and she likes to actually bite the towel, which is kind of funny. But I let her just gnaw on it for a little bit just because it's cute. Probably shouldn't, but anyways, so I just got her used to, me working around her so I can touch her everywhere, so when she's older it's not an issue when I have to tack her up. So just the towel everywhere, throw it over her, just desensitizing her a little bit as she's getting groomed. And of course, a very important part is doing her feet. This was also very hard to teach her. She would try to stomp down a lot, and it puts your farrier at risk. If they do not stand well for their feet being picked, then they will not stand well for their feet being done. So your farrier will appreciate it if you do this a lot. And I also like to stick my fingers inside her mouth just to also help out our equine dentists who have to start working on her when she turns 2 or 3, just so that she is used to being handled everywhere, mouth and everything. And I also do her ears to make sure that she's okay with me touching her ears, which also took a very long time. She used to headbutt me every time I touched her ears, but now she kind of likes it. She gets a little itchy. But yeah, that's basically our grooming routine, and she's now better with it. And this is me putting on our training halter. When I work with her in hand, I put on a rope halter just to have a little extra strength on the ground with a nice 10-foot long lead line with 2 leather straps right at the end of the lead line to kind of work as a whip at the same time. And this just gives me a little extra support without having to use something like a chain or anything harsher. So it's a nice medium for a baby horse. And I think it works really well too, because you can adjust it as they grow. The first thing I work with in leading is walking and then halting to teach them to wait for you and to pay attention to your commands. So I do this a lot during the day, walking to the pasture, walking in, anywhere you can do it, just walk and then halt and stand. And I always turn her from the outside shoulder because in showmanship and in FEI jogs you need to turn from the outside shoulder. And then I also work with her on jogging in hand, which I'll be doing next. This to me is very important if they get injured and need to be flexed, if they know how to trot next to their handler without running them down. This also took quite a while to teach, just a lot of patience, and then being able to not get out of control and stay in control. And that's all. It just takes a lot of time. And the last exercise I do with her working in hand is I make her walk in a circle around me. This was hard to teach, but this allows them to know that you can stay away from them and stand at their shoulder as they walk around you. I think it's a very good way to show that you are the leader and they are the submissive. I normally just take the butt end of my lead rope and tap her on the butt, and this is her harder direction. You'll see she's a little more defiant this way. But just as you follow their butt and make them go around a circle around you, it'll just teach them to stay out of your personal space and to be better for eventually when you have to lunge them, that they already know how to walk around you in a small circle. If you have a horse that likes to kick out, I recommend using a lunge line. She is not kicking out at me, and I've done this quite a lot with her, so she is used to the concept. The last thing I do with her is I do some neck stretches just for fun because she likes doing them. My friend actually taught her how to do this, and that's her favorite thing around the world. She knows all she has to do is touch her belly and she gets a cookie. And she's very good about it, and I think it's just something that she enjoys. So that was the very basic things that I like to do with my yearling, like with the grooming and just being able to work around her and know that I'm in a safe, secure environment, and that anybody from vets to farriers to dentists who have to work with her as time goes on, they are also very safe and secure, and she has good basics in handling that she'll carry with her for the rest of her life. And as she gets older, of course, I really look forward to starting her. I think she's an amazing mare. Of course, as you can see from the beginning, we had some rough things to work out, but luckily she is very well-tempered and she takes everything in stride and is like, oh, okay, that's fine. I'll learn how to do that. And she's very willing. And I think with her, it's very, very important when they're that young to use positive reinforcement to, you know, make sure that they know when they're being good. I think that is so important to be able to start the basics off right. Is definitely lots and lots of patience, waiting for them, because you have to remember they don't know anything. So you have to put everything on them. So just making sure that they know, oh, this is very, very good. I like how you stand here nice and quietly, or no, please do not headbutt me. That's not very polite. So with everything with them, just I feel the main thing that you can ever do is to be as patient as possible with them and to really make sure that they have enough time to fully learn and you have enough time and patience to give them a good education to start their basics. And as time goes on, I look forward to being able to break her. I'll probably start her at 2.5, about 3 times under saddle, and then again at 3, I'll start doing more consistent. And then she'll get a few months off in the summertime, so that way you don't go on their joints too hard. I'm really looking forward to especially starting her in the EQ saddle. I think it'd be a perfect way to start a young horse because the saddle is also super adjustable. So as she grows from 2.5 to 5 years old, when she'll kind of buff out a little bit more in the shoulders as time goes on, I'll be able to move the saddle with her and know that she is in a most comfortable place to do her best performance for me. And so that was week 1, just basic grooming and handling. Next week, we're going to be touching more on bomb-proofing, which is definitely one of my favorite things to do with her. So I'll be using a ball, and I might even throw in a tarp or some loud noises just to see, you know, how the reaction is, you know, how to give them a positive reinforcement when they're scared, and all sorts of stuff like that. That's also very interesting and will help you out a ton when they're older and you're riding. So that way you don't have a spooky horse. So tune in for that next episode, and if you want more information about the saddle that I personally use, you can go to EQ Saddle Science to learn more. Thank you for watching.